So, hi Nikki, how are you?
I am well. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Very good, thank you.
Good.
So, could you tell the people who will buy this book and hear this video a little bit about your story? How do you get to this holistic, nutritious life?
Sure. I would say my pursuit of health started pretty early, actually, in my childhood. My father was diagnosed with bladder cancer when I was, gosh, I must have been about 10. And he battled that for a couple years and then passed away when I was in, I think, I don't know, eighth grade. So I was pretty young. And after that, I just, I didn't really think about it that much. But then as I was coming into my later teen years, like graduating high school and getting ready to go into college, I was like, I just don't know what I want to do with myself. So I was talking to my guidance counselor, and I ended up going for my undergrad for health and exercise science. And at that point, I was really loving it. I was like, this is great. I can help people with this. And then I just kind of realized that the focus was very much on exercise and not so much on nutrition. And a lot of the information that I was getting about nutrition was kind of outdated and not entirely accurate for what needs to happen, for people to actually be healthy with their food choices. So that, and then I also got into CrossFit, and I don't know if people know much about CrossFit. It's an exercise program, but they talk a lot about nutrition and the paleo lifestyle, paleo being how our ancestors ate, basically. So, free-range meats and, wild-caught fish and nuts and seeds and berries and basically none of the crap. And I thought that was really interesting. So I started to explore a little bit more I guess, in the alternative nutrition world. And that kind of led me to where I'm at now. And I'm currently pursuing my master's in nutrition and functional medicine. I really love the functional medicine aspect, which is, working for the root cause of people's health issues on a very individual level, because not everybody's the same. And obviously nutrition plays hugely into that, because what you put in your body kind of determines how your body functions. So that's where I'm at now.
What kind of people are you planning to help, or that will need your help?
Yeah,
People who look for you.
sure. So, I guess I would say that I focus really, not so much on the very scientific aspect, but kind of on the bigger picture. So I really just want to help people find what works for them in terms of total lifestyle. Nutrition is a huge, huge part of it. I work with people who are overweight and dealing with the issues of metabolic syndrome, whether that's hypertension or, issues with cholesterol, diabetes or prediabetes, and just kind of bringing everything back into balance, losing that weight, and not only working on nutrition, but also stress management and figuring out ways to incorporate exercise. Because I do think exercise is important, but it's not the primary factor in a healthy lifestyle. So,
Mm-hmm.
and then I focus immensely on mindset and happiness, because I think that the entire point of being healthy and having a healthy working body is to be able to live your life fully and actually enjoy what you're doing. So spend time with your kids, be there for your kids. I mean, that's kind of what started it all for me, because I lost my dad so young, and I really feel like if he was taking care of himself, he would still be around. He would have been here to walk me and my sisters down the aisle when we got married and see his grandkids. And that's really important. I kind of feel like, that's just what life is about, is to be here and to be able to enjoy it. And you can't enjoy life if you're in a body that doesn't function and you don't feel well and you don't have good energy and, you have all these things kind of nagging you. So that's what I'm all about. I guess that's a long answer to that question.
No, it's a perfect answer, because some people who are helping people to lose weight or something, they just have like a preset diet, for a low calorie diet, and that's it. They don't actually help you with all the rest that it's involved in your life.
Exactly.
Or I don't know, like you said, exercise is not everything. And I think the food industry is making people think that if the reason that you're overweight, it's because you don't make or you don't do enough exercise.
Well, yeah, it's like, if you're overweight, you must be eating too much and you must not be exercising enough. There's really little acknowledgement of what, kind of the junk foods, all the processed foods from the food industry, when we eat them, what they're doing to our hormones and all the chemicals in our body and just kind of throwing things out of whack. And it's not really so simple as just eat less and exercise more. And I really think that's an important message to get across. My philosophy is entirely based on whole foods. I mean, whether or not you're eating certain things, like if you have, an allergy to dairy or a gluten intolerance, or, you just have, you prefer not to eat meat, or, whatever your preferences are and whatever you need for your body to function properly is very individualized. But the bottom line is really, you can't eat crap food and expect your body to function well. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah. And how do you think people like you or the people who are in this book can get this message to the rest of the public?
I think it's something that's getting better, like gaining momentum and gaining steam. I think as people kind of come in to realize that, what we have been doing for so long isn't working. Because, when you look at the recommendations that are put out, by the USDA, like the food pyramid, people have been told for so long how they need to eat. And I don't think it's entirely that people don't know what they should be doing. But I think we can start to kind of tweak things and get that focus to be less on the balance of energy and calories in and calories out, and more on the value of food. So just by spreading the knowledge of, what you can do with real food, it's really important to know at least a little bit of how to cook, or, I wouldn't say that I'm a fantastic cook and certainly don't create a lot of my own recipes, though I can throw, some stuff together. But I think that people get intimidated by that and they miss the point. And it's just, when you have a cookbook like this, you can look and see even if I can't eat, dairy or gluten or nuts, there are still all these other things that I am able to eat. And it doesn't have to be hard to throw that together in my own kitchen. Because we have a lot more control over what we eat when we're actually cooking it ourselves. And it doesn't have to be complicated. And I think that's a really important message, because I think that it's really intimidating to people. It's either, it's too time consuming, it's too expensive, it's too hard to do. And it really doesn't have to be like that. So I think we just need to, get behind that message that it can be simpler, and it doesn't have to take over your life eating well. And you can enjoy what you eat, when you're eating healthfully too. It's not all about, eating just broccoli and I don't know, plain chicken. It can be fun and healthy and meet your needs. And I think the other thing too is just a big thing that I focus on is being more environmentally friendly and sustainable. And I think that's an important issue too, because the way that our food industry is set up right now, a lot of the foods that we eat are not sustainable. And, if you pay attention in the news, they'll talk about all the water required to grow our foods, or how are we going to feed the growing population? And so I think that's a big part of the message that needs to come across, is it is entirely possible to eat whole foods and take care of yourself, and be sustainable and do that for the long run.
Yeah. It's like I was telling one of my friends the other day, because she was telling, well, I don't eat a lot of bread and carbs that way. I just eat cereal every morning, a box cereal. And I was like, oh, but that's a lot of sugar. Have you read the label? You think that because you're not eating, I don't know, cakes or little things like that in desserts, you think you're not eating carbs, but
yeah,
the cereal is just I read the label cereals a year ago, and I was really scared, because they advertise the special K and things like that. They advertise that you can lose weight eating that every morning.
Right. Yeah, it's one of my favorite things is like if it has a health claim on it on the label, don't eat it because it's probably not accurate. They're just trying to sell you something.
Yeah, that's scary though, because people follow that. They're, like you said, it's a society. It's used to follow information they get from the media.
Yeah, and I think there's a lot of misinformation out there. We're getting a lot of conflicting messages, and the bottom line is the food industry just wants to sell us food. You know, like
Yeah.
it's hard because we think or we'd like to think that they have our health in their best interest, but when it comes down to it, it's just really all about the bottom line. And that's like there's so much money in it, so we really have to be the advocate for our own health because no one else is watching out for us. The labels are confusing. It's kind of hard to know what you're looking for, especially if you're not, if you hadn't done a lot of research. And even if you have, there's so much misinformation and so much conflicting advice and research out there that it's kind of like, how do I sort through all of this? And how do I find out, what's best for me and what I should actually be doing?
Yeah. So, what is your favorite dish to prepare?
I eat a lot of the same things because that just goes back to making it easy. If I can find, like a handful of dishes that I can just kind of cycle through, that works really well for me because I memorize the recipes and I know exactly what I'm shopping for and I know exactly how to cook them. For breakfast, actually, every day, the same thing, and it's oat bran and mixed berries on top with flaxseed. And then I might do some Greek yogurt and honey after that. That's probably my favorite meal out of the entire day. But for dinner, one of my go-tos is like meatballs or just meat sauce, like a marinara. And then I found these noodles that I really love because I don't eat a lot of gluten. It really upsets my stomach. So the noodles they're like, it's like quinoa and some quinoa and lentils, I think. So it's a really good gluten-free option. And it still tastes like pasta. And I think that's a big issue for some people. It's like, I want to have pasta and I want to have bread, but I don't want it if it's going to be weird and taste weird. So it's good to know that there are alternatives out there.
Sometimes it doesn't taste weird, it just tastes different and they freak out.
Yeah, different. And I think it's our palates can get used to it. It's all about like what you're accustomed to and making slow changes. Because like if you're used to eating, I don't know, like cheeseburgers and French fries and soda all the time, like you're used to having a lot of fat and a lot of sugar. And then when you switch to vegetables and lean proteins, it's kind of like, ugh. But then you start to get used to it. And then if you go back to the more processed stuff, it's like, wow, this doesn't taste like anything but sugar. And
Yes.
it's really not good at all. So it's really about what you're used to.
Yeah, it's scary for some people, but I think the message is getting along at least.
Mm-hmm.
At least that's what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
And what is the thing that's never missing from your kitchen? What ingredient or what it's never missing?
Yeah, I keep eggs on hand. They're just really versatile, and yeah, I like that. I mean, they're so easy, and you can put them in everything, and whether that's like the occasional baked good or if I just want like a scramble with veggies, or if I just want, I don't know, just fried eggs or hard-boiled eggs, or if I want to, toss them in a salad. I mean, they're very nutrient dense and they're very easy, and you can do a lot of different things with them. So I would say that, and oat bran, because like I said, I eat that every day.
What would you tell people that are getting the book about actually risking their cooking?
Sure. I would say, it's getting a cookbook like this, especially, is a great way to realize that you can Find ways to meet your dietary needs that are going to be delicious, that, are not difficult. And it's a good way to branch out too, because the more that we try different recipes and the more that, we experiment different things in the kitchen, the more that you realize what you like and what you don't like. And that way you can kind of start to build. Like I said, I have, several go-to recipes that I really love. And we try different things. Even if you only ever cook the recipe once and you hate it, then you're like, okay, I know I don't like that one. Well, you'll probably find a few that you really love and that you want to keep eating again and again and again. And, it's easy and it's nutritious and it'll help you feel good. And it's a good way to become more proficient in the kitchen, which just makes you feel good, because you're like, oh my gosh, I made this for myself. I didn't have to rely on somebody else to do it. And it's giving me the nutrients I need. And it's not making me feel bad because, it's not upsetting any food allergies or intolerances that I might have, which I think is really important because, sometimes when we go out to eat, we can ask, but you never quite know what's going on in the kitchen, and you just don't have as much control as you would in your own kitchen. And the subtleties of food intolerances are really real. I think a lot of people walk around, you might have gas, or you might have some bloating, or you just might not feel, quite as well as you could with your energy levels. And I think a lot of people walk around and they just think that's normal because they've never really felt anything different. And it's like, once you start taking care of yourself and identifying, what foods actually upset you, what foods might give you a stomach ache for, a half an hour after you eat them, and what foods are just easy to digest and give you energy again. And it's like, oh, like, I didn't know I could feel this good because I've never done that before because, why would I? So get the cookbook and experiment with it and find things that you like and things that sit well with your body and, that actually work for what you need with your dietary requirements. And you just might realize that you feel great and you don't want to go back to feeling sluggish.
Yeah. Just because you want to eat French fries.
Right.
Yeah. Micki, how can they reach you? How can people reach you?
Sure. So I have a website. It is Micki, M-I-C-K-I. So M is in Mary. Think like Mickey Mouse. I always do it like but it's spelled differently. M-I-C-K-I Ring, R-I-N-G, and that's .com. So just MickiRing.com. And then my email's on there, but it's info@MickiRing.com. And then I'm on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram. So yeah, all the social media. Well, not all of it. I'm not 18. I can't really keep up like the big ones are on there.
The principal ones.
Yeah.
Okay, Micki, thank you very much for your time,
Thank you.
for sharing your knowledge to us, and thank you.
Thank you so much, Claudia.